What's going on, everybody? I'm Shav. This is the Dollar Tree. Appreciate everybody for watching. Shout out to all the subscribers. Thank you for liking the video. Thank you. But anyway, we're going to just get right to it in this video. We're going to get straight to the point because this is important and the market is not done dumping. All right. I know you guys aren't going to want to hear this. A lot of you are probably not going to watch based on the titles alone, but nonetheless, you will be back once everything plays out and you see, pretty much where I was going with this entire thing. Okay, so let's do it. All right. Months ago, I predicted that the all-time high for Vechain would be somewhere between 10 to 15 cents. It didn't get there. It went up to 27 cents instead. All right. Well, it did get there. It went up to 27 cents instead. Okay, fine. The reality of it is this. The cycle's done. All right. If I am wrong, there's a very, very, very slim chance that I am wrong. But looking at the charts, looking at the price action, I am, like I said, 72% correct at the moment. And all it's going to take for it to be 100% correct is for Bitcoin to dump below $29,000. Okay. Now, with that being said, I was off target by the 10 to 15 cent by Vechain. Now, I've stated in previous videos that you don't want to try and time the bottom and you don't want to try and time the top. I've done videos on this channel about accumulation zones and why you should look to get into a market at a certain point and buy as the price comes down. So that gives you a nice, good amount of time for you to accumulate. Check the check if you're working, borrow money, whatever it is you have to do, not financial advice, to get ample amounts of money into the market for the bull cycle. So, the 10 to 15 cent was very, very bullish, very, very realistic. And it was at a point to where it gave you more than enough opportunity and a realistic range, not only for you to get money into the market for Vechain, but to actually get money out of the market as well as the liquidity increased, i.e. the market cap increased on Vechain. So with that being said, no, I'm not trying to time the top and be perfect with my price predictions as far as, I'm going to sell the approximate top. No, and no, you don't want to try and do that. You want to have a strategy going in, an amount in a realistic range where you'll be able to get money in and out of the market, all right? Realistic, so that you're guaranteed exit at a particular price point, all right? So with that being said, I think it's important that we shift our ideologies in the market at the moment. Not financial advice. I think now it's time to be preparing for the bear cycle, because this is going to give you potentially up to 2.5 years. I will revisit this over time, but potentially up to 2.5 years for you to get money into the market and prepare for that next bull run up. And also get in at price points for Vechain, particularly for this video, where you don't have to worry about I gotta try and sell at all-time highs and new all-time highs. You can get in at a good price point. You can get out at a comfortable price point, depending on the amount of money that you get into the market. You will be comfortable with that, and you can, secure that money and then maybe go in if the market still shows healthy upside. All right. So in this video, I'm basically going to take a look at this Vechain chart and talk about potential entry points, where the next lows are going to be. I talked in last video about, 80% retracements for Bitcoin and 100+% retracements for altcoins. So let's go ahead and get to this chart, because once I throw some math numbers at you, you're going to be surprised at the retracement that's happened so far, and why it is a firm belief that Vechain is going to have a very deep retracement and be at risk of not reaching all-time highs for the next bull cycle. Let's get to it. Here we go. We're going to start right here on the weekly chart, because, in a recent video I did, I talked about Vechain coming down and bouncing at this line right here that I'm going to circle for you guys. All right, here we go. This line right here, let me zoom in just a little bit. Okay, so this line was 6.9 cents. So it's off a little bit. So around 6.8 cents is where we expected to bounce. However, it fell much lower. All right, that is downward pressure. It went all the way down to 5.9 cents and bounced at 5.9 cents. Downward pressure. Okay. At the end of this video, I am going to talk about an eventual bounce that may come into fold. But if this is a staunch, full-blown bear cycle, yeah, you're not going to get that strong of a bounce. And you know what? Before I go down to the daily, I'm actually going to say that you've got two green bounces here. You've got the bounce inside the circle that I have up. Let me put this screenshot back up. Okay. You've got the bounce. You got two bounces inside the circle. You got a low and then a lower low. And then inside the circle, you've got two green wicks as well. So with the first bounce, you've got this wick right here. Let me zoom in. And then the second bounce right at the edge of the circle that I've drawn, you have this bounce. Notice how those candles, the second candle toward the outer circle is smaller than the other green candle, which is a bounce. Guys, that is downward pressure, okay? Now, let's go down to the daily. All right, here we are down on the daily. And the reality of it is that last video that I did on Vechain, I drew a bear flag, all right? I drew this ascending wedge, which broke to the downside, all right? Look, this is very real. You know, a lot of people are probably, I've already had people unsubscribing to the channel like, man, shut this guy up. That's the last thing I want to hear. But it's better to be realistic and patient and regroup for a greater success than to be, you know, hoping for the best and being demolished by the worst. All right. So, okay, on a daily, that's pretty much what I had last time. That is what happened. I am going to go back to the weekly. Not much to talk about, but I do want to go down as far as the 12-hour, and I want to draw something new for you guys before I go back out to the weekly and discuss our potential targets. All right, here we go. Here's the 12-hour. Here's what I wanted to draw. This, once again, even though it's descending and you got in your upper trend line is sloping, you know, with your one touch at the top. Let me zoom in on this one touch over here by this red wick right here, and then let's zoom back out. This is another bearish pattern. You're looking at long-term more downside for Vechain. You know, whether you get a bounce again at slightly lower lows at around 5.8 cents or 5 cents remains to be seen. But nonetheless, you could see two potential things happening here, which may give people hope. You may get a strong bounce eventually, and you may go to this upper trend line and reach 10 cents. You may eventually bounce and reach 10 cents, or you will continue lower down to 5 cents, 5.1 cents, and then get a hard bounce to this upper trend line again to around 9.2 cents before breaking to the downside. All right. Now, even if you break out of this bullish case scenario, short-term bullish, even if you break out of this and retest this, there's no guarantee that it will hold and get you back up to 15 cents. All right. So let's zoom back out. You know, look, the market sentiment overall, even long term, is bearish. And like I said, I would rather prepare and be patient for the bearish than risk not knowing where to reverse to continue to the downside potentially and get demolished. All right. Let's go back out to the weekly because I want to talk about where the ultimate downside targets are going to be. Now, immediately back here on the weekly, you're going to look at that descending triangle that I drew, and you're going to say to yourself, oh, well, Shah, that looks kind of, don't you think that's bullish? Yes, but if the overall sentiment is bearish, it's more likely to break to the downside than it is the upside. And if you look at the candle bodies, which I will draw, let me redraw this. Okay, here you go. I pulled the upper trend line down to the candle body. You have been rejected by this line. 1, 2, you broke it. came back into the candle body four times. 4 times. Now, if you count the candle body, 1, 2, let's count the wicks and the candle body. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. All right. And then you didn't even get up to the trend line recently. You broke to the downside before even reaching it. So even if you come fill out the rest of this triangle, this descending triangle, and you break out to the upside, it's not going to be a rounded bottom. It's not going to be a rounded bottom for a continued move higher. It's going to be a short-term bounce. It's going to be a bearish retest of previous highs, previous bearish highs, bearish support, resistance, for a continued move to the downside. And your closest target, your overall closest target after that to the downside is 2.2 cents. All right. I've got it highlighted here. I'm going to extend this line. Give me 1 second. Now, 2.2 cents was a previous all-time high resistance that we went up to, got rejected a few times, and then finally broke before completely, absolutely taking off to 27 cents. All right. So what do I believe? I believe that you're going to go much lower. Now we're going to get to the segment of the video where we talk about, the percentages in the retrace. Now, if you do your typical 80-85% retrace from all-time highs, your 80% retrace is 2.1 cents. Excuse me, your 80% retrace is 5.4 cents. All right, you've already come extremely close to that in the first major push to the downside at 5.9 cents. So you're looking at more of a 100 to 110% retrace for Vechain. Now, your 85% retrace is going to be 4.48 cents. All right, 4.86 cents. Now, your 85% retrace is 4.48 cents. So now you gotta be asking me, all right, Sha, if you're looking at this type of deep retrace, where do you think we should start accumulating Vechain for a good pump to the upside? And the reality of it is, I don't know. Because what you're waiting for now is that bounce, that first strong bounce, which is not gonna be too strong, but you're gonna be waiting for that first bounce in the bear cycle where you get 4 weeks of upside, 4 to 6 weeks of upside for Bitcoin. All right. Up until you get that point and then dump lower, there's really no way to tell where, your all-time lows are going to be for Vechain. Now, if I had to speculate based on technical analysis of 110% retrace, I'm going to tell you right now, 1 penny. 1.5 cents and below is where you're going to want to start accumulating Vechain. And that may be too low for many people who don't have money sitting on the sidelines to just jump in at those prices, which is extremely understandable. And the reality of it is, I will not be surprised if Vechain got all the way down to 9/10 of a penny, 90% of a penny before reversing during an overall bear cycle, maybe even lower. The safe side would be to say, let's wait for the pump, let's wait for the additional dump, and then we can make that determination. But, the reality of it is, it's better to be safe than sorry and wait it out. So right now, accumulating Vechain, 7-8 cents, buying Vechain 7-8 cents is not the move to make. So I'm going to do some math here. And I'm going to look at a potential 110% retrace. And what you're going to get is 110%. A 110% retrace is going to bring you down to 2.7 cents. All right. So there you have it. And then again, like I stated before, there's potentially a risk for you not even to reach all-time highs in the next bull cycle for Vechain because of this deep retrace. So right now, you should not be accumulating Vechain, and you should be very scrupulous on your decision making in regards to when you're buying cryptocurrency for the next run up, and particularly for this video, Vechain. All right. I've seen some requests in the comment section. We're going to get to Swipe. We're going to get to Litecoin. We're going to get to Ethereum. We're going to get to all of those. But I really want to do the important ones first. You know, I already told you last video, Bitcoin's going to 12,000 or lower. Your accumulation should be 13.5, somewhere around 12 to 13.5. I will revisit that to put that in stone once I get that 100% verification below $29,000 of a Bitcoin price point. Now, Ethereum is much more simpler and easier to calculate. Even if it does a 100 to 110% retrace, I feel more confident giving you an accumulation zone, not financial advice. I feel more comfortable discussing an accumulation zone and price point for Ethereum. Questions, comments, concern? I'm Shad. This is the Dollar Tree. Appreciate everybody. I will see you guys in the next video. Yes, we are back. All right. We are going to do our best to be consistent this time around. See you guys later.